Welcome back, punters, to another edition of Rapid Fire. Of course, we've got the usual suspects, John, Walter and Jason as a party. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning. How are you, big fella?
We've demoted him down the bottom of the screen. How good is this? How's he ended up down there?
Get away with shirts like that and stay on top.
As a result of my very poor results last week, I get relegated to the bottom.
I think it was the shirt, to be fair. I think that's what it is. It's done on shirt. Hang on, I'm just going to remove that. You got a jelly bean shirt on today, or is it? It could be germs or something. What is that? What's that one?
Well, it can be whatever you want it to be.
Bubonic plague shirt.
What are we covering?
Okay.
God's country.
Of course, we're focusing on Caulfield Guineas meeting. There's one race at Randwick which we'll cover, which is the Roman Consul, I think. Race 4. That's assuming the meeting goes ahead. And currently, Jason, we've got a little bit of murkiness about in Melbourne, and currently a slow 6.
So I've
soft
got
6, as they like to call it.
I'm just getting messages as we speak here. So someone walking the track at the moment, genuine 6, and it's pissing down. So I am a bit disappointed with that. I'd done form on a sort of 5 to 6, and the track manager has said if we get the rain we're expecting today, which they are, it's going to be an 8 tonight, and best possible hope is an upgrade to a 7 tomorrow with a nice day, which it's going to be. So it's going to do a bit of adjusting on the run during the show. A little bit disappointed with that outcome, but it is what it is, and we've got to deal with it.
Indeed. And in Sydney, of course, it's, conflicting reports about how much rain has actually fallen at Randwick, but it's a heavy 10 currently. I mean, Wednesday's meeting was an absolute quagmire. Canterbury. So I suppose, it's going to be a 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever it might be on Saturday.
Well, it was a quagmire then. They've had between, what they say, 30 and everyone else copped 100. So somewhere between 30 and 100 since then. Holy crap.
Don't worry about it. Just do form at Hamilton, everyone. Hamilton Cup Day tomorrow. Don't worry about Randwick. Better chance of backing a winner at Hamilton.
Let's start off tomorrow in race 5, the Herbert Power, over 2,400 metres. It's quality handicap. John, the market.
Hang on, I've just got to work out how to do this. I'm going to get retarded. What the hell's going on here? Why is this? What's this? They've changed the way they do this on me. They've upgraded the system. Here we go. This is about as much help as I'll be on this meeting, so I'll be reading prices out. Hang on, they're not even in the right order. Short by dividend. Saracen Knight $3.90, $5.50 Desert Icon per Sand $8, Regal Line 8, Emissary 10, Port Nepean 10, Shiraz 13, 16 Macram, 21 Grand Promenade, 21 Chabot, 34 Harmessian, whatever you want to call it, 51 The Good Fight, 91 Tiger, 101 Good Idea Attorney, and officially I have absolutely no idea. Good luck, Jason.
Jason, to you first.
Yeah, quite like this race, although the track conditions have dented the confidence a little bit. I think the key thing with this race is thinking about intent. There are a couple of horses here higher up in the weights who are already qualified for their targets, being Caulfield and Melbourne Cup. The winner of this race can get a penalty in a Melbourne Cup, and I don't think anyone really wants a penalty. So that's sort of leading me to who's got the most intent here. At the top of the market, Saracen Knight won a Mornington Cup, got a PR. Yes, it's down in weight, but there's absolutely no way I could have it at $4. Desert Icon gets J-Mac off 2 Moonee Valley, hot rails, leading wins. I think it's a doubt at the 2,400. It's not in either cup, but I'm against it as well, which means when I don't like the first 2 faves, I do want to bet aggressively. I found Regal Lion here before the track. Looks like it's going to come up heavy. It starts in Australia where it hasn't been on a heavy track. It's been absolutely dynamite, rocketing home. Love the way it ran through the line last start. Not sure about the 1,700 up to 2,400 with Annabelle, but it's run really well in a New Zealand derby. Its run in the Tulloch was great, and its win last week was great, but I don't really want to go too hard on a heavy. Persan is one of the horses who I'm not sure about intent, but third up last prep, it ran third in the Caulfield Cup, the high incentivised and non-conformist. At around this distance range, it's a class runner in this grade. I think it's a great chance. And the one here that it's run the JRA Cup where it was held up behind Desert Icon and then ran home, I thought was sensational. I think it is going to run very well here. And then the other one is that I don't think anyone else will find is Macron. Loved its win second up over 1,700. That was on a genuine wet track. Then went to that Valley race in the Desert Icon win where Persan was also in. It sort of came wide with a run. It was rails. It looked a little bit disappointing, but I know the stable think this is a very good chance in the Caulfield Cup. It needs to run top 3 here to get in. So I'm expecting it to run quite well. So you're going to build a book around those, and you'll probably drop Regal Lion out if the track's too wet and back the other two. I think Macron's $51 for the Caulfield Cup. With Sportsbet, you get your money back if it doesn't run. Maybe if you have an interest in that, you back it for the Caulfield Cup before then.
Okay, so my top pick in the race is Saracen Knight. I'm a little bit concerned what the fence might be at this point in the meeting tomorrow, depending on whether or not they continue to get rain. So I'm just suggesting that whilst I'm expecting it to be reasonably fair and even, I'm just want to keep an eye on that fence. So a little bit of a caveat there on Saracen Knight. So I wouldn't be charging into the price now, but that's my top pick despite the negatives that you've highlighted there. Macron is my second pick in the race, so I do agree with you there, Jason. Definitely it. I think that Desert Icon's under the odds. Persan can definitely improve, and I just think the $7 or whatever it might be now is a bit short. Last preparation, it didn't sort of hit the sort of figures that it did in its previous prep, so I'm just a bit concerned about that. And I wouldn't think that the current price is something that punters would continue to take, so might see a bit of resistance for it. But for me, it's Saracen Knight with a question mark on the fence from Macron, but no real confidence in the race. John, did you have anything to say about it?
No. Nothing.
Thanks for your input.
Nothing. That is literally my greatest nightmare. Okay,
race 6, the Scalachi over 1,100. I'm pretty keen here. John, the market.
250 Polili, 480 Queen of the Ball, 480 Zoo Style, 750 Ingratiating, 950 In the Boat, $14 General Bow, 21 Express Pass, 34 Oxley Road, and the mighty Shelby 6 just keeps going around, 66 at $81 with TC. What, is he going to lead on it?
I don't know, but he should call the RSPCA, I think. You go first, Skipper. You sound confident.
Well, it looks to be a bit of pressure in the race in the Boat, Queen of the Ball, who won on a very sympathetic track, favouring it last time, Zoo Style, and to a lesser extent, Oxley Road. Look, for me, I thought Palali's run first up was very, very good. It had things against it. I think it can improve, and if it gets up to that sort of Eagle Farm run last preparation behind Marzu, which I think it can, then it's going to be terribly hard to beat. And look, it's my favourite. I don't think the price is a spoil. This is a competitive race, and obviously those other horses like Queen of the Bull I've mentioned have a chance. Zoo Style I'm a little bit against, just at the 1,100 metres. I'm just a touch against it on the soft track. Ingratiating is a horse that I think can run well too, which is obviously the stablemate to Polelli. I think its run first up was pretty good when they put the blinkers back on, and I see no reason why it can't continue its good form. So for me, it's Polelli from Ingratiating. Queen of the Ball, some chance, but as I said, a little bit flattered last time. But I'm pretty keen on Polelli.
Have you got it priced in the red or the black, Paul?
No, it's in the black. In the black. As I said, I don't think the price is a spoil. What was it, John? Again, sorry.
6 to 4.
Top score.
Yeah, 250.
Okay, 6 to 4. Yeah, I think it's a fair price, but I don't think it's outstandingly good value or anything like that. But that would be my pick definitely. So Polelli for sure for me.
If it's a six-ish, what do you think the track will play like? As in 6 to 7-ish.
If it's a 6, I'm hoping it's fair. But sometimes the rail's okay in run, and other times not. So I'm a little bit sort of up in the air, just to keep an eye on that and be mindful and be prepared to be a little bit nimble and make adjustments. Just in this race, though, there's enough speed up front where I think that there's going to be enough open space for James McDonald to guide Polelli to the right part of the track if it turns out that the fence is, a little bit questionable. So I'm not concerned. I think the map's actually pretty good for it.
Yeah, I won't disagree. I've graded myself up on him a bit today. So Oxley Road won't run, In the Boat won't run, leaves us with 7. Express Pass will go back. It's just a run for it. So it's out of the race, and Shelby 66 isn't a horse. So there's basically a 5-horse field. I'm assuming Queen of the Ball is going to try and lead at all costs, and with 51, I know, I get it, had all the favours at the Valley, but, Dosh nearly won this race last year. I think she's a little bit better than that.
You didn't have to remind me.
You backed it, didn't you? Yeah, so I think actually with 51, she's untried on a true wet track, but she could be right in the game here. So Paul Ailey's going to be from the inside gate here, and I do think the fence will be off. So when I first looked at this race, I thought Paul Lilly was an absolute moral. Now with the scratchings, you're probably going to have to take $2. I wouldn't talk you out of it, but I thought ingratiating, we didn't think it was a wet track. It was a really good win first up. Can it go on with that? Not sure. So I'm a bit greyed up on this race now. I'll probably stay out. I do think Paul Oiley looks, I tipped in the Moya. Its last 100, everyone would have seen that. So if J Mac can navigate away, and, it's second behind Marzu, and that Doomben 10,000 shows, as a true wet tracker, he should win against this lot. He really, really just should win. It's just whether you want to take the $2. I'm a bit undecided at this stage whether I will.
So you're saying that those horses are scratched already, Jason?
They're not, but Oxley Road does not go a yard in the wet. Moody will not run it. And In the Boat, I'm pretty sure Lindsay will scratch it too, and it doesn't go in the wet. So they're not, but with this rain that's hitting, they won't run.
Fair enough. Look, I mean, price dependent. And as I said, I don't think it's a spoil. So I certainly wouldn't recommend taking the price now. And as I said, keep an eye on the rail. But for me, it does have the best form. Look, I'm not saying Queen of the Ball can't win. I mean, I've got it right in there, third pick, but I'd rather back Ingratiating over here, I think, at the prices.
I think differently again, so why not? I think
John, what do you say?
I'm hoping it crosses, and then Zousile sits outside it. I think it'll beat Queen of the Ball home, and then Paul Lilly will be running on. And I couldn't take, if it's like $4 Zousile, the money Paul Lilly, I couldn't take it, but I think that's what will happen. I think Jamie will try and lead, and Zousile pop outside it. It'll take care of Queen of the Ball, and Paul Lilly will be running on. But bit of a nothing race.
Yeah, look, I'm going to take some roughies early in the day into Paul Ailey and sort of try and have a big sort of multi going, so I can just sort of watch that race. That's how I'm going to play the day.
Right, let's talk about the Might and Power at Group 1 weight for age over 2,000 metres. No Might and Power in this race, but John, in the market.
Interesting race, isn't it? Like, the more you look at it, I think this is a race you could grey the hell out of yourself, but market is Animo 245, 460 Zaki, $6 Alligator Blood, $6 I'm Thunderstruck, $13 Mwanga, $14 Mr. Brightside, $21 Benno, $71 Non-Conformist.
Jason.
To be honest, I won't be betting. This is I'm looking at this horse from a Caulfield Cup angle. I think Nonconformist and Benno are right in the Caulfield Cup. I know Nonconformist has looked disappointing, but it's a true, like, old-fashioned weight for age prep. Knew it was qualified, didn't want extra weight. G-Beg, have faith in him. I'm looking for a decent run there. And Benno, whoever gave him the the gear in the stables the other week to get him scratched from the Metrop. Thank you, because I'm on at a huge price in the Caulfield Cup. I think the blinkers go on here. So I'm hoping he runs really well. So I'll be looking at them. And then from the other angle, like there's just like everyone who's watching this show and loves racing, there's just so many questions to be answered on these horses for the Cox Plate. Zaki is going to get wet. That suits him, but is he as good as anyone thinks? I mean, the Queen Elizabeth on a heavy 10, he ran really well, so maybe he's going to be in this with the track conditions. I'm thunderstruck. There's now, Zara saying he's not sure he gets 2,000, and they're talking about not even running in the Cox Plate. Barrier 1, not ideal. How's it going to go? Can it position closer? Will that put it out of its comfort zone? Is Alligator Blood going to get 2,000 on a true wet track? Mr. Brightside, jury's out. So many questions, and I don't want to back a horse who was 3 out of 5 lame last start. I don't care what they say if it's better. I want to see it put pressure through its legs before I back it, especially at $2.40. So I'll be watching. There's some good markets on Betfair, some head-to-heads there. Alligator Blood versus I'm Thunderstruck, and Mr. Brightside versus Moonga. I know a lot of people are all over Moonga, and maybe that's a way to play it. But I'll honestly dead set, like in the Underwood, won't be betting.
What about you, John? What's your view on all this?
Pretty similar. I think it's just a great race to watch. It's not I can't find any real angle that you can push, but it's just so many questions to be answered. I was just going to say, did you know that they've booked Reggie for the Caulfield Cup for your horse, Benno? Regan
Reggie?
Bailey.
Have they? Fuck, no wonder I got that big price.
Just wanted to depress you a couple of weeks out. I'm the greatest hater of Zaki ever, but I think it's probably the best placed if you had to. I think it's the horse that's got the most improvement in it from that last run. 2,000 soft track certainly looks fine for it, whereas the others all have to answer the question. So by default, I sort of come back to it, and it's not short this time. So I don't want to hate it like I normally do. I think if it was a bit firmer, I'd nearly think Alligator Blood's the forgotten horse again. But, soft track and probably leading on the fence is, not ideal. It's just an absolute, you can poke holes in every horse in the race, and I can't really find an angle and a price to want to have it chime in. So I think it's just, as I said, it's a great race to watch for a racing fan.
Certainly is. Look, from my point of view, I think Anamo's a little bit of a risk at the price. I think it should be longer. The 1,600 up to 2,000 worries me a touch. Obviously, the lameness issues coming out of last start do concern me. At this stage, at 11 to 8, I'd be laying it. I'm pretty sure of that. I think if I had to have a bet in the race, the market's obviously got the 4 chances pegged, or the 4 main chances pegged. I think if I had to have a bet in the race, I'd have to go side with Alligator Blood. And look, I was wrong about this horse getting 1,800 last time, and now it's 2,000 metres. But it was so strong, and certainly going away from the late, I felt I can't knock it. So I don't think I'll play, other than maybe later favourite if it's that price. But if I had to have a bet, it would be Alligator Blood.
I hope as a racing fan, Alamo wins by 10. I'd love to see it. Because I just think he's an absolute star, and
good horse.
It's just great for racing, and it's really shitting me. I'll just have a rant at the moment. The Melbourne racing media just keep pissing on about how shit the Cox Plate is this year. These are all quality animals. They were saying the same thing last year, and then State of Rest went and won the World Stage. Very Elegant won the Melbourne Cup. This is great that horses are running against each other at weight for age. I'm Thunderstruck will be one of the best milers this country's seen after this prep. You watch, he's a star. He's lightly raced. He's got plenty of racing in him. These are great Group 1, memorable fields. And I hope people get out to the track and look at the horses in the stable and really get behind racing, because this is what it's about. Love this shit.
Okay. John, have you made comment about that race?
Love this shit. You get that on your hat next week, please. I want that. I want a hat.
Don't worry, I'll have an I Wish I Win memorial on the back next week. I
love this shit. Yeah, I want that.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the 3-year-old Caulfield Guineas over a mile. That's set weights. John, the market.
Yeah, I love this shit. Guineas, $2.80 Golden Mile, $4.80 Berkeley Square, $8 Tijuana, 14 Amenable, 15 Elliptical, 19 Bankmore, 20 Milan, 31 Mullane, 21 Meritus, 21 Osipenko, 26 The Fortune Teller, 31 Elkington Road, Fujita Sand, 31. So Bailey 34, Lethal Force 41, 51 Angry Skies, Muramusa 67, 91 Dashing, Skiffios, a hard one to finish on $101.
Jason.
Sure, love to. I'm going to read a text that I sent to my great mate Lewis Oliver on Tuesday about this race because pretty much I'm not changing from when I did it. Golden Mile, enormous doubt at the trip, didn't run out 1400 metre for mine. Mum was a squib and out of a stern, very keen to bet against. Does go Clippo to J-Mac, that's a plus. Absolutely unloading amenable each way. Enormous first up when held up on a dynamite leaders track. Best run of the race in the prelude. Snag miles back. How it ran on like it did with mud hitting its mouth and eyes is beyond me. Blinkers on, goes forward. If the goat gets cover, it's game on like Donkey Kong. It's $18. Smacked it. Ostapenko, how the fuck is this $34 off the SP last start when clearly didn't handle going? Gun for hire, T. Clark, goes straight to lead, clear target race, jumped out in between runs, ride off Waller at your peril. Saving Berkeley Square, clear best horse in the race, smack Tijuana and had no luck, trip suits, drawn well, should be fave. Full stop.
Good summation. What about you, John? Have you got anything to say about the race?
It's weird that I'm very similar. Like I can't take $2.80 Golden Mile. I just even people tipping Golden Mile, it's got to get closer to $4, isn't it? Like it's just.
Oh look! It was. It did sit outside lead. It did have.
It went all right.
Its first two runs indicate or get 1600.
I don't say it won't. I just think it's ridiculously.
Yeah, it's just short. It's got to be $5 for mine. I know it's out of the stronger leader. Absolutely, it is. I grant that, and that's normally great form for this. But there's just when I see a horse that price, I'll win more than I'll lose betting against it. It might win, but no.
Agree. I found the similar horses to you, but a couple others as well. I just sort of kept going wide and. I thought that Bankmore elliptical race wasn't bad either. I'm on Bankmore from 2 months ago, so nothing like this price, a little bit longer, and I'm sick that it's drawn 17 and they're saying they're going to go back. I would have much rather to see it chance its arm and roll forward. I hope they change their mind. And I thought elliptical was really good the other day, but that's another reason why I was asking about gate one. It's either going to make it or break it. And I agree with you. Amenable was really good, and Osipenko just couldn't do anything. The drier, the better for it, though, obviously. But I've got Berkeley Square favourite, and I'd be saving on it. If I was betting in the race, I'd be really wide and just shopping on Craig Williams, and that's it.
Yeah.
Look, I've got Golden Mile on top. Agree it should be longer. Don't want to back it. I mean, I suppose everything's got a price, but looking at the current market, certainly don't want to back it. Berkeley Square, I'm sort of neutral on it. Don't particularly want to back it. Look, I'm going to have a couple of small bets in the race at much better odds, I think. Tijuana is one of them. Backed the horse last week, and yes, it was suited and all those sorts of things. It was its first go in Winkers. All I'm saying is I think what is it currently? What price with Top Sport?
Tijuana, $8.
Yeah. And so maybe they like it. I just think it's a chance, and it could be better odds elsewhere. Who knows? But it's one of them, and the other one is at very, very long odds is Elkington Road, and I just think that this horse perhaps is a little underrated. It's only had 2 starts, both been on wet tracks, won them both. I think the 1600 metres won't be too much of an issue for it. This trainer can produce in these sorts of races, and what is it, 33 to 1 or something like that, John?
Yeah.
So very small bets, no real confidence. So from my point of view, that would be the way I'd be playing that race. You got no opinion of the horse at all, Jason?
Oh, look, I backed it last start. Elkington Road at Flemington, I just didn't think that field and that race was strong enough to beat sort of Guineas Prelude, the Flemington race, and with Tijuana coming out to the start. I mean, the horse is unbeaten, so yeah, but I penned that race, and I penned the Bank Moore race, which includes horses like Elliptical and that sort of thing. And just sort of, you got to be against something, and against those form lines, I just went against.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's why their prices, and well, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Bank Moore's got a lot of ability. I agree with that.
Okay, let's get on to the what have we got? The Toorak over a mile.
You got a friend, Jason. Look down the bottom there. You got a friend, mate.
Mitch White. I love this shit too. Go on here, Mitch. Didn't know anyone was watching.
Yeah,
it's this live, is it?
Oh, well, it depends where you are in the world. Where are you in the world?
Didn't know that.
The Toorak Handicap next?
Yes,
bring it
on. Over a mile. Yeah,
bring it on. Jason wishes he wins. I wish I win. 269.
The Chinese man at the blackjack table at casinos slogan. I wish I win.
Baccarat 952 Valoo. Tavalu, $10 Gentleman Roy, Military Expert 950, Pinstripe 13, Uncle Bryn 14, Call Sign Mav 21, Character 21. Is it out yet from last week? $20 Law of Indices, Halal 21, Converge, the money 21, 26 Dalasan, 31 Buffalo, 31 No Name Lane, Banker's Choice 31, $91 winning partner.
Jason, you got the honours here because I know you have a vested interest in the outcome.
Yeah, so I will, I guess, call out that I've got I Wish I Win going for a huge collect as a last leg of a multi at $6, which is nice. So I'm absolutely cheering for it, but I also think it's a clear top pick in this race. Everyone's seen its last two wins. I think the important thing is in both of those wins, they've gone out 7 lengths above. So it's been really strong speeds, and the key runner in this race is Buffalo River. So Gentleman Roy will not give up the lead, and Buffalo River will definitely go at it. Tuvalu will go forward. Military Expert will go forward. No Name Lane will go forward with Linda Meach on. So there is going to be a lot of pressure. I'm not worried about outside gates here. I think there's plenty. So and they're going to go up the hill for 400 or 500 metres at Caulfield. There's going to be a lot of pressure up the hill, which means I'm okay with wide barriers getting cover over this track and trip, but I want horses that are going to go back. I Wish I Win's going to get that. The only doubt of this horse winning is the track condition. If it's a genuine 8-9 and it stays that way all day, it could stifle its acceleration a little bit and may bring slower, less horses with less ability into the race. Praying it's a 7, I think it will just win. The other two horses that I wanted, so I want to call out those. They went 7 lengths above. So when it beat Gentleman Roy first up, Buffalo River attacked Gentleman Roy, and that's when I Wish I Win ran over them. Then Gentleman Roy went to that Sandown race, and in that race they went 5 lengths below to the 6 and then 4.5 home. So it was a sit and sprint. So I think Gentleman Roy and Military Expert were flattered there, and they're not going to get those conditions. I think the main dangers to I Wish I Win are Uncle Bryn. Love the setup here. It was second to Military Expert. It was a huge run on the Valley on a Dynamite Leaders Day. Then it's run, gone to the naturalism on a heavy. So it's proved it can run on the heavy. It's split Smoke and Romans, who's one that gone on and won the Turnbull and Gold Trip. Luna Flair's come out of that race and won. It's a really strong form race, back to 1,600 on the minimum, proven in the wet. Got $26 on Monday. It's still a good price now. And the other horse that is just ridiculous odds now that you can back is Call Sign Mav. However, this horse is $30 is beyond me. Proven Group 1 miler. It won a Group 1 last start at this track on the heavy. This race, if you look at the history of winners, carrying weight is not an issue. Do not be turned off by the weight. I just think it's a very, very good horse. I cannot believe you can get $26. Do not let it go around. It's a great each way bet. I've had a good crack at it. If either of those three win, I'll be winning a significant amount of money. If they lose, I'll be kicking stones.
John, what have you got to say about the race?
Yeah, the way I kind of do these races is the same. Are you expecting a strong tempo? I think the wetter it is, the more I like Uncle Bryn. Just at the price, I think it's the one with the strong setup. Obviously, that's Smoke and Romance. All the form being franked helps too. I didn't think it was a great ride last start on a really strong tempo. Drawn nicely here down the way to everything you want for a horse. It's just going to be there and keep plugging just because it's got that right setup. So I think the wetter it is, Uncle Bryn comes right into it. The drier it is, Converge comes into it. And this is sort of talking roughies, and I agree that Call Sign Mav, I was just worried that it doesn't have that tough setup. So 14-14 up to a mile off that heavy track run's not perfect for me, but it's the price is too big to be true. I agree. And I wish I wins the horse that if you wanted to be on a horse, you want to own a horse in the race, in this race, it's this one. Could I take $2.50? Absolutely not. I'd rather mess around with the roughies and hope it finds trouble. But for one man's sake, I will be hoping it doesn't find trouble and it sails down the middle of the track and puts a hole in.
Yeah, look, I've been impressed with the favourite, obviously, like everyone else. Look, I think it's a little bit skinny. I don't think I'd want to take that price here. Definitely got a top pick and not potting it by any means. I thought that Uncle Bryn represented a bit of value here at good odds, and I'd be able to have a sort of a smallish bet on it. Is Pinstripe totally out of this?
No, I think he's. I didn't mention it. I think if you look at that Gentleman Roy race last start, as I said, they went 5 lengths below to the 600. It was a sit sprint. I love the way he ate the line. He couldn't win on sectionals with an expected stronger speed here, and on the minimum, he's definitely in the game. Pinstriped, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And I even thought, if you're looking at roughies outside the favourite, I even thought that, a horse like Law of Indices isn't hopeless at long odds and could offer something. Characters there, the horse you mentioned, Jason, Call Sign Mav, No Name Lane. I mean, to me, it's not a complete shoe-in for the favourite. I'm probably going to, at this stage, only be sort of looking at backing Uncle Bryn and making it some sort of a result. But admittedly, not a big bet, and at that price, nor do you have to have one. So,
interesting
good luck,
that we all
Jason.
found it, like to all find the same horse at $17 is interesting.
Yeah. 2,000 back to 1,600 is. I don't know if that's a plus or a minus here with this horse, but
it's a plus for the training combo because it's a plus for the training combo because I don't think they can set a horse and pay it. At least it gets fit by itself. Yeah,
I just see if you're playing quaddies, there's a bit more to think about than just sort of plonk favourite here. But and Military Expert's racing well, and it's got a bit of depth to it, I think, outside the favourite.
Yeah, I thought out of the things that would go forward, I sort of, as I said, I wanted to be against that Sandown Stakes form, that Gentleman Roy Military Expert. Tuvalu was very good first up.
Yes.
It was on the worst part of the track in the straight, 1,400 metre Group 1 first up on a heavy track. It will improve, but drawn 1 here is not ideal. But I did think it would improve if anyone liked it as well.
I mean, against Uncle Bryn, of course, is likely to be on the fence, and that could be a problem. So, look, there's a bit of caveat there. If the fence is no good and you can see it's no good, then obviously have a rethink on all these things. But anyway, let's get on to the Northwood Plume. No, that's not our race at all. Sorry, we're done for Melbourne. We're going to talk quickly about Top Sport punters. And, of course, if you have an account, great. And if you don't have an account, well, then get onto the team, get yourself sorted. Of course, the well-publicised changes of late means that some of the products that they had on offer are no longer. but they will bet you, of course, MBL from the time that they do go up, and will still offer you a fair bet, and perhaps even still bet you bigger late on some of these bigger races. So get yourself sorted with that, punters. We're going to quickly go to Randwick and cover the Roman Consul, which is race 4, over 1,200 metres, set weights 3-year-olds. John, what does the market look like?
It could be run at one of 27 different places or days, but at the moment we're concentrating on Saturday at Randwick at 1,200. 290 Best of Bordeaux, 550 Natuno, $6 Willinga Beast, 650 Sir Jardin, 650 Sweet Ride, 850 Zuccarino, and $11 the impressive Goulburn maiden winner, Salute.
John, why don't you kick off here?
Yeah, this is a big if race. So if Best of Bordeaux runs, I'm desperate to bet against it. I just think any horse that's coming off a sizable setback or a virus or something, coming onto a track like tomorrow, would be diabolical to be betting with it with confidence. I think it's even if it's coming back in distance, I don't think that's going to help it. And I can't see it starting favourite if it runs. I hope it does run. I think that Willinga Beast and Sir Jardin are the two that have got really solid setups here. For both 1,400 back to 1,200, both got blinkers on. Both should be close to the speed. If I hope that Willinga Beast goes to the front again, and if it doesn't, is just right there. And Sir Jardin, hopefully, third the fence, or at worst, two back the inside, fifth would be, as far back as it should be with the blinkers on it. It was not too far away in the Golden Rose. I think they've got the best setup and super strong. If this horse Salu's good enough to go from a Golden Maiden to whatever this race is, 1,000 to 1,200 on a heavy 27, so be it. And if you want to save on it at whatever price it gets to, maybe. But I just think that if you got $6.50-ish or $6 about these two, it's a very good play.
Yeah, look, I'm of the view that Best of Bordeaux is a risk as well. Obviously, it was scratched twice there, scratched out of 2 races there 2 weeks ago. And I think that's the issue. It's a hard horse for me to sort of totally pot, but I've just got to be against it. So I'm sticking with that position. Natuno's sort of an interesting runner as to whether or not it really does handle the wet. It did win at the Gold Coast on a heavy track there, third up in its first preparation, and it sort of fell in that day. Not sure what they're thinking there. It's certainly one of the chances, but look at the prices. I'm sort of gravitating towards Willinga Beast, and it's got that form behind North Star Lass there, and look, I can't see any reason to pot it. And the current prices seem like it's reasonably generous, so I think Willinga Beast is worth a bit of a play there at odds. Jason,
I got a favourite.
Race 3 at Hamilton, the 1,400 metre maidens on 4 minutes before this. I've got more interest in that.
Mate, just unload on Willinga Beast.
For all those people betting in New South Wales,
just
don't bother. Let's just stick it up PBL. Don't bother about New South Wales, and let's just support the Melbourne Spring Carnival for all its glory.
When you're a psychopath with a tin hat on here and you think, well, his big games next week, right? So his big shows on next week, you won't want to carve the track. You wouldn't think, even though the rail's out 8 and they'll push it back. You've also, if they carve this meeting completely and turnovers down, that also gives him a little, but the weather and we've lost that meeting, so that's why turnovers down. There's a lot of reasons not to run this meeting, so it'll be very interesting to see what they do.
Well,
yeah,
we're gonna.
I think they'll run it. But betting is it's like you want to do form, you want to be thinking about how things are improving, and you're just getting a day, and even wetties just don't handle it. The rain has been torrential, right? Yeah. So it can recover. It doesn't matter. All year it's copped so much. It's just so difficult. And is a rail going to be on? Is it going to be off? If you have to, you have to. But for me, 10 races at Caulfield and 8 at Royal Hamilton and Manangatang's on as well. Just focus on Victoria and support the Victorian racing industry. And Cranbourne tonight, Sportsbet Ballarat today. Bring it on.
Cloncurry today. Don't forget Cloncurry, the first race. We'll be back in the first starter there. Something called something. We're on it too.
The Weasel. The Weasel, named after yourself. The
That's
Weasel. Is that the male? Is it?
I didn't tell you.
Capitalist,
Right,
mate.
right.
You can keep capitalist horses. I
First-
guess
first- it's actually-
Cloncarry.
It's well bred for Cloncarry.
That's true. Exceed and excel mare being gelded.
Mm.
Okay.
Could be an opportunity in the last race at Eagle Farm tomorrow, fellas.
All right. Well, let's talk about that.
If
Let's
the
have a look
if the deck's firm,
Good four there.
which
Lion
Eagle Farm,
Lethal.
yeah, well, 4 is often better than that at Eagle Farm, but yeah, let's see how the track's playing. I won't sort of tip my hand yet, but
Well, tip your hand. You've just said it. You can't be on a show and then just renege, mate. You got to.
You know what he's going to do? He's going to not do it. He's going to go to Wolf Den and put it up there. The Wolf Den.
What is the Wolf? Someone needs to tell me what the Wolf Den is. But anyway, hey, can we go back to the Guineas for a second? Because I really wanted to get your insight, Paul, for people watching. Because you didn't mention. So you said you had Golden Mile on top unders. What are your thoughts on Berkeley Square?
I got a second pick.
Okay.
A lukewarm second pick. I could easily be a little bit harder on it. Tijuana is. I'm just concerned that where it's going to get to from that gate, that might have to do too much work early. But I still think at the price, there's enough of a premium to warrant maybe having something on the race. And then Elkington Road was really just the wild card, long priced, conveyance. It's a small betting race for me.
And so if I was to tell you that my unload tip has an average price of $16, would you say I'm a mug or I've shopped well?
For amenable? At the current price, I'm against it.
So you're saying I'm a mug?
Well, no. I mean, look, the blinkers could make a big difference to the horse, and I just have to go on what I've got here. And I'm not saying you're a mug, Jason, at all. All I'm saying is that I think that I'd have it significantly longer than that.
Significantly longer. Jeez, you never make me feel good when you say that. Whenever you say I've got it marked significantly longer than the current price, Jason, I know you're basically saying to me in a very nice way, can't win, won't win.
There's a zero missing. Yeah.
There's no such thing as a pen job.
Through that.
All right, I think we're done.
Okay,
how good was that?
Indeed. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we get you some winners this weekend. And look, it's going to be a bit of a watch and see, of course, on venues both down south and in Sydney if Randwick proceeds. Keep an eye on the tracks and be prepared to adjust. We'll see you back on Monday for the review there may not be a review of Sydney, but
ours might be short, mate. Ours might be short.
Ours might be short, so we'll tentatively keep that sort of going and see what happens. And of course, Jason, thanks very much for joining us and giving up your time, of course. And Monday will at least be a review with Peter Lawrence of the Melbourne performances, and next week we'll have some more action to talk about for the weekend. But
I haven't watched Pete's review from last week yet, but a little birdie told me, not Scoot little birdie, the great man, but a little birdie told me he said that Smoke and Romans is a 5-4 chance. Did he in the Caulfield Cup?
5-2, I think he said.
Oh, 5-2. Okay.
What price is it?
Oh, it's about $4, I think, $4.50, 7-2. So he's not far off.
The $8 all in of recent times is well and truly gone.
Yeah, well, I've got some big results going in the Caulfield Cup. I just hope I can. I'm just hoping I can get a little bit of improvement out of a couple, and I'm sitting on some beautiful tickets. I got Maximal at 151s, 101s, and 81s. Got Benno at 61s. Non-conformist I've got going, and some nice multis too. So I think there's still hope.
Indeed. Okay, punters, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.